सर्वेभ्यः नमस्काराः भवतां सर्वेषां स्वागतं हार्दं स्वागतं. We'll start the class by chanting the prarthana slokas. Krishno rakshadu man charachara guruhu Krishnan namasyamyakam Krishne namara shatravo virikataha Krishnaya tasmai namaha Krishna deva samudhitam jagadidam Krishnasya dasosmyaham Krishne bhaktira janjalasto bhagavan He Krishna tubhyan namaha Prapanna parijataya totra vetraika panaye Jnana mudraya Krishnaya Gita amritaduhe namaha Vasudeva sutan devam Kamsa Chanuramartanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnau Vande Jagat Gurum. Sarvesham Puna Swagatam. So we'll continue from the 6th sloka. Tatra Sattvan Nirmalatvat. Here Anuswara followed by Na is coming. So this is Takara, Tavargam. So we'll introduce the 5th letter. Sattvan Nirmalatvat. Tatra Sattvan Nirmalatvat. Prakashakamanāmayam. Sukha Sangena Badhnati. Here again, Badhnati. So here again, we carefully chant. Sukha Sangena Badhnati. Jnana Sangena Chanakha. So here all these are Mahapranas, Kha, Dha, and Kha. So here, Bhagavan says, in the we talked about 3 gunas, 3 states, that is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. In the last sloka, we have seen that this is Sattvam, Rajas, Tamayidi, Gunah, Prakriti, Sambhavaha, Nibadhanti, Mahabaho, Dehi, Dehinam, Avyayam. This we have seen. And among this, we have this Sattvam. First of all, we'll see more about Sattvam. So, in a state of Sattva, Tatra Sattvan Nirmalatvat. So, purity is purity. So, in a state of Sattva, we experience joy, peace, and calmness. Prakashakam Anamayam. We experience joy, peace, and happiness. We are alert. Mind thinks logically, grasps complex statements, and we don't rush out into the world. We are peaceful. We don't just rush out. We just take everything calmly and slowly. So, Bhagavan refers to purity, that nirmalatva, brightness, prakashakam, brightness, and anamayam, that is health. He talks about this. See, like here, we can compare this to our mind to water in a glass of cup or water in a pond. When the water is, when there is no mud or anything that is muddying the water is very clear and we can see our reflection there. Very easy, we can see our reflection there. So this is the state of Sattva. So in a pure state of mind, there are no selfish desires. That is the thing. There is no, like the mud in water, there will be no selfish desires in our mind, in a pure Sattva state of mind. So therefore, the reflect here, the light of the self, is reflected. Awareness of the self, no hindrance, health, because it enables us to get as close as possible to our natural state of joy. Our state of joy is, our natural state is a state of joy only. Only thing is we make it difficult by having selfish desires and other kinds of thoughts. We make it muddy. We muddy it. That's our job. Our mind's job is that only, to make it muddy. Though it is in a state of joy only, we unnecessarily think about unwanted things and we make it muddy. So this is what's happening. So in the state of sattva state, we're as close to this, that pure state of joy. That way we feel healthy. We're healthy and we are very bright. We're able to understand everything very clearly. Peaceful. So that is what we are getting as close as possible to the state of joy in our mind. So, however, this is sattva state is very good, the state of joy, peace, and happiness. But what happens is, however enjoyable this state and pleasant the state is, the sattva state is, it has the ability to bind us. It will bind us. That is sukha sankhena badnati. So that is sangha means attachment. It will attach us to, that sukha will attach us, and also jnana sankhena. Through knowledge it will attach us. Through sukha it will attach, and through jnana it will try to attach us. That means to trap us, because a person will like to remain in that state because it's a beautiful, joyful, peaceful state. That person wants to stay in that state. So it will try to, you want to again and again feel that state. So it will try to bind you. He will not let it go. You want to be in that state because that is the state of joy. Is that as close as possible to the natural state. So he doesn't want to leave it. Also, bind through attachment to knowledge. So what happens? More books, more sattva state propels us to accumulate more and more worldly knowledge, and more books we read, we get more and more knowledge, more qualifications, and it will pump up our ego. We will become more and more knowledgeable. We think we know better than others. All sorts of things will come and it will try to bind us. So we mistake the joy provided by sattva. Sattva is providing joy, we mistake it. But we haven't experienced what real joy is. Real joy comes only in the state of meditation. In the meditation state, you have nothing. So in the sattva state also, there is something on which you are deriving joy. By reading books or having knowledge, you are getting that joy you are getting. It's a pure state of joy only, but you're based on something you are getting joy. But in meditation, there is nothing like that. You're not getting anything. Just you are in a state of joy. So that's the pure state of joy. You're just there, that's all. Not because of this or that, because you're just there in that material state. So it's a real joy. So sattva is preferable to rajas and tamas, definitely. Sattva is better. But getting closer to our liberation and it's ultimate, but ultimately you have to discard that state also. Because that joy you are deriving based on something, that depending on something, you're getting joy. So that joy, it did not last long, it is perishable. So you should discard that also and go for the pure state of joy. Pleasure derived from object and knowledge of it are interrelated. So if you have an object and you know knowledge about it, so that pleasure, they are interrelated and you cannot give you permanent joy. Permanent joy will happen only when you are independent. You are free from everything. You are not attached to anything. You get permanent joy. So this is what Bhagavan says in this. You should not get due to sukha. You get sukham, that you should not be bound by that. Or through jnana, you should not be bound. You should not be bound by anything. Be free. So we'll continue.
Atma Jagan Bhagini.
Tatra sattvan nirmalatvat.
Tatra sattvan nirmalatvat. Tatra sattvan nirmalatvat.
Prakashakamanāmayam.
Prakashakamanāmayam. Prakashakamanāmayam.
Sukha sangena badhnāti.
Sukha sangena badhnāti. Sukha sangena badhnāti.
Jnana sangena chanakha.
Jnana sangena chanaka. Jnana sangena chanaka.
Pushpa Bhagini.
Tatra sattvan nirmalatvat.
Tatra sattvan nirmalatvad. Tatra sattvan nirmalatvad.
Prakashakamanāmayam.
Prakashakamanāmayam. Prakashakamanāmayam.
Sukha sangena badhnāti.
Sukha sangena badhnāti. Sukha sangena badhnāti.
Jnana sangena chanakha.
Jnana sangena janagha. Jnana sangena janagha.
So your chanakha is anakha. Anakha is sinless one. This is again, it is a sambodhana to Arjuna. Sinless one. So jnana sangena cha anakha. Anakha is sinless, oh sinless one. That's what anakha means. Chanakha.
Janagha. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Nagamani Bhagini.
Tatra sattvan nirmalatvat prakashakamanāmayam.
Tatra sattvan nirmalatvat prakashakamanāmayam. Tatra sattvan nirmalatvat prakashakamanāmayam.
Sukha sangena badhnāti. Jnana sangena chanakha.
Sukha sangena bhagnāti. Jnana sangena chanagha. Sukha sangena badhnāti. Jnana sangena chanagha. Dhanyawad.
Padma Vishwanathan Bhagini.
Tatra sattvan nirmalatvat prakashakamanāmayam.
Tatra sattvan nirmalatva prakashakamanāmayam. Tatra sattvan nirmalatva prakashakamanāmayam.
Sukha sangena badhnāti. Jnana sangena chanakha.
Sukha sangena badhnāti. Jnana sangena chanagha. Sukha sangena badhnāti. Jnana sangena chanagha.
Gholap Mahodaya.
Tatra sattvan nirmalatvat prakashakamanāmayam. Sukha sangena badhnāti. Jnana sangena chanakha.
Tatra sattvanna nirmalatvat prakashakamanāmayam. Sukha sangena badhnanti. Jnana sangena chanagha.
Here, sattvan nirmalatvat. That instead of anuswara in we are using. So it is not separate pronouncement, pronunciation. Tatra sattvan
nirmalatvat. Okay. Tatra sattvan nirmalatvat prakashakamanāmayam. Sukha sangena badhnanti.
badhnāti.
Sukha sangena badhnāti. Jnana sangena chanagha. Dhanyawad.
Lakshmi Kiran Bhagini.
Tatra sattvan nirmalatvat prakashakamanāmayam. Sukha sangena badhnāti. Jnana sangena chanagha.
Uttam. Well done. Go to the next sloka. Rajo ragatmakau vidhi. We have seen what is sattva guna. What is its nature? Joy, peace, and happiness. Its nature we have seen. Now, rajo gunam. Rajo ragatmakau vidhi. Here, v is only for anuswara. Instead of anuswara, rajo ragatmakau vidhi. Trishna sanga samudbhavam. Trishna sanga samudbhavam. Tanni badhnāti kaunteya. Karma sangena dehinam. So here, no. Vidhi always means no. Know that, no. That is everything you know. Please know, this is what it is. Rajas to be the nature of passion. Rajaha Ragatmagam. Raga means passion. It is born of passion, the source of thirst and attachment. Trishna Sanga Samudbhava. Born out of the source of thirst. Trishna is thirst, and Sangam always attachment. It is source of these two things, and it binds fast. Tanni Badhnati Kaunteya. It binds fast. O Kaunteya, Karma Sangena. Attachment to action. It always attaches you to action. Dehinam. Dehinam is the embodied one. The embodied, our embodied soul, Atman. It is attaching us with karma. It arises due to Trishna, and that is this thirst and attachment, and it is full of passion, and it attaches to karma. So here, that's what Bhagavan says here. Rajas is a state of mind when it is agitated, like a glass of muddy water. It is in that state. The mind is in that state. It can be in any state, but when you are in the Rajas state, it is like this. The glass of muddy water is being stirred. A glass in the muddy water is stirred, everything becomes muddy. So whenever our mind is agitated by thoughts we are agitated, and that propels us to act. We are in a state of Rajas. It makes us act something. We are in an agitated state. We want to act something. We go to action. That is this. We are in the state of Rajas state. You want to do something. You are so much agitated. You want to do something. So that is, you are in the state of Rajas. So Rajas created Trishna, thirst, for what we do not possess. It makes us long for what we do not possess, and Sangha, or the attachment towards what we already possess. Krishna makes us go after those objects, and Sangha makes us getting attached or clinging to that possession. So Rajas creates a vicious circle, and fuels desires, makes us act to acquire the objects, and then creates attachment to those objects. So this is what Rajas does. And truly Rajas dominates the mind from morning to evening. The mind Rajas dominates the mind. So the self, the I, the real I, Brahman, that is there, does not act. It does not act. So Rajas binds the self through attachment to action. The Rajo Guna, the Guna in that Prakriti, binds the self, the Atman in us, through attachment to action and its results. So it makes us say, I am the doer. Your Atman is not the doer. Prakriti is making us do that. And I am the enjoyer. And whereas Prakriti is active, actually Prakriti is acting. Karma Yoga helps us to get out of this trap. We have seen Karma Yoga in the 3rd chapter, where Karma Yoga, you work for the welfare of all. That's Karma Yoga. That is, you results. You don't care about the results. You work with all your efforts. So your mind is cleared, and you work. For working, you are working. That is, you have no expectation. You have no expectation of results. You are working. So Karma Yoga might help for Rajasic people who are dominating Rajoguna. Karma Yoga is good. Karma Yoga, you must not just not working, is working without any selfish desires. Some social work or something, whichever, any work, even your own work that you with which you survive. For your survive, that also you can do with a sense of sacrifice. So this is what Rajo Guna is. Rajo Guna makes us long for objects, and then after getting those objects, we want to possess that objects or attached to those things. So those are the effects of Rajo Guna. See, Ragatmagam, it is full of passion. So this is the Rajo Guna. We are continuing.
Raghunath Mahodaya.
Rajo ragatmakau vidhi.
Raghunath Mahodaya.
Ambagini. Rajoratmakau vidhi. Rajoragatmakau vidhi.
Krishna sanga samudbhavam.
Trishna sanga samudbhavam. Trishna sanga samudbhavam.
Tannibadhnati kaunteya.
Tannibadhnati kaunteya. Tannibadhnati kaunteya.
Karma sangena dehinam.
Karma sangena dehinam. Karma sangena dehinam.
So,
Vatsala Bhagini.
Rajo ragatmakau vidhi.
Rajoragatmago viddhi, Rajoragatmago viddhi,
Krishna sanga samudbhavam.
Drishna sanga samudbhavam, Drishna sanga samudbhavam,
Krishna, Krishna.
Drishna,
Tra.
Trishna,
Ah.
Trishna sanga samudbhavam,
Tannibadhnati kaunteya.
Tannipatnadi kaunteya, Tannipatnadi kaunteya,
Karma sangena dehinam.
Karma sangena dehinam, Karma sangena dehinam,
Uttam.
Devi Chitra Bhagini.
Rajo ragatmakau vidhi. Krishna sanga samudbhavam.
Rajo ragatmakau viddhi, Trishna sanga samudbhavam. Rajo ragatmakau viddhi, Trishna sanga samudbhavam.
Tannibadhnati kaunteya. Karma sangena dehinam.
Tannibadhnadi kaunteya, karma sangena dehinam. Tannibadhnadi kaunteya, karma sangena dehinam.
Uttam.
धन्यवाद.
Kalavati Bhagini.
Rajo ragatmakau vidhi. Trishna sanga samudbhavam. Tannibadhnati kaunteya. Karma sangena dehinam.
Rajoragatmako viddhi, Krishna sanga samudbhavam, Tannibadhnati kaunteya, Karma sangena dehinam, Rajoragatmako viddhi, Krishna sanga samudbhavam, Tannibadhnati kaunteya, Karma sangena dehinam.
Better.
Dhanyavad.
Hema Bhagini.
रजोरागत्मकौ विद्धि तृष्णासङ्गसमुद्भवम् तन्निबध्नाति कौन्तेय कर्मसङ्गेन देहिनम्
Rajo ragatmakau vidhi.
रजोरागात्मकौ विद्धि
Yes.
तृष्णासङ्गसमुद्भवम्.
Yes. Uttam. We'll go to the next sloka. Here we have seen Sattva Guna, what are the features, Rajo Guna, what are the features. Now we'll see Tamo Guna. Tamas Tvajnana Jau Vidhi. Again, Vidhi is coming. Know that Tamas Tatva Ajnana Jag Vidhi. Tamasaha Ajnana Jag. This is ignorance. Tamas Tvajnana Jau Vidhi. Mohanam Sarvadehinam. Sarvadehinam is embodied ones. For all the embodied ones, Mohanam. Mohanam is delusion. So it is Ajnanajam, it arises due to ignorance, and it is deludes all the embodied ones. Pramadalasya nidrabhihi. Pramadalam. Pramadam means that is inattentiveness or heedlessness. We are careless. We don't give proper attention to things. Alasyam means laziness, laziness in working, and nidrabhi, that is sleep, sloth, or with we just lie down around doing thinking something, or we are not active. Pramada alasya nidrabhi tannibadhnati bharata. So that is the you're attached to those things. That is sloth, laziness, and postponing things or avoiding work, such things. You are attached to those things. So here, tamas is a state of mind when it is dull, inert, and ignorant, prevents clear thinking. It clouds discrimination of man, starts to operate in moha, that is delusion. Means confusion and error, mistaking one thing for another. So that sort of delusion happens. Tamas is born out of ignorance. Tamas tvajnana jau vidhi. Tamas tvajnana jau vidhi. Born out of ignorance. It keeps Purusha dwell under delusion. That he is the body. He is the body. That is the delusion. The primary delusion is that he is the body and not the self. And tamas binds us through heedlessness, this pramada, and alasyam, that is laziness, and nidrabhi, sleep. So heedlessness, that is inattentiveness or carelessness, all those things, and is action performed without intellectual focus or awareness, and laziness is postponing or abstaining from our duties, and sloth is lying around in a state of stupor. So these things are, it is this joy through which tamas binds. Tamas is binding us through joy in these things. That is heedlessness, laziness, sloth, etc. So this is what, and this is what Bhagavan says here in this sloka. He has described what is tamas. We'll continue.
Meenakshi Bhagini.
Tamas tvajnana jau vidhi.
त्वमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि त्वमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि
Mohanam sarvadehinam.
मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां
Pramadalasya nidrabhihi.
प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः
Tannibadhnati bharata.
तन्निबध्नाति भारत
Malini Bhagini.
Tamastvajnana jau vidhi. Tamassaha tu ajnanajam. Tamastvajnanajam.
तमस्त्वज्ञानजौ विद्धि तमस्त्वज्ञानजौ विद्धि
Mohanam sarvadehinam.
मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां.
Here, together you did. Mohanam sarvadehinam.
मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां.
Pramadalasya nidrabhihi.
प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः
Tannibadhnati bharata.
तन्निबध्नाति भारत तन्निबध्नाति भारत.
Uttam.
Thanks.
Gholap Mahodaya.
Tamastva-jnana-jau vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam.
तमस्त्वज्ञानजौ विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां तमस्त्वज्ञानजौ विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां
Pramadalasya nidrabhihi tannibadhnati bharata.
प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत. धन्यवाद.
Vinoda Bhagini.
Tamastva-jnana-jau vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam.
तमस्त्वज्ञानजौ विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां समस्त्वज्ञानजौ विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां
Pramadalasya nidrabhihi tannibadhnati bharata.
प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत.
Uttam.
Anasuya Bhagini.
Tamastva-jnana-jau vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabhihi tannibadhnati bharata.
तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत.
Uttam.
Lakshmi HS Bhagini.
तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत.
Uttam.
धन्यवाद.
Sapna Bhagini.
तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत.
Uttam. You go to the next sloka. So here we have already described three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. We have seen how they act and how they bind the embodied ones, how they delude the embodied ones, and they bind in something or other, either sukha or in passion or in sloth or in laziness, by different gunas. So here this Bhagavan is all the three gunas collectively again described. He is again describing the gunas. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati. Sattvam sukhe, that is in happiness. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati. Rajah karmani bharata. Rajah, here it is Jukwa Mulya. Rajah karmani. Rajagunam, it will be binding us to karmas, actions. Jnanamavritya tu tamaha. Jnanamavritya, veiling or blacking out or obstructing the jnanam, that is knowledge. Tamaha, true knowledge. Pramade sanjayatyuta. Pramada means that is heedlessness or inattentiveness. Pramade sanjayatyuta. It attaches to carelessness and inattentiveness. By blocking, by preventing us to see the real, having the knowledge, real knowledge. So this is what, in short, Bhagavan is talking about the three gunas here. So here, tattva binds us through joy and happiness. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati. Rajas through action, Rajah Karmani Bharata, and O Bharata. And while Tamas verily veils the knowledge, it blocks the knowledge and binds one to heedlessness, that is to carelessness and inattentiveness. So here, Sri Krishna recaps the characteristics of the three gunas in this sloka. Sattva binds us to hold on to joy, experienced after attaining a sense object. So it makes us, oh, that I'm getting happiness. So it gives us binding with that. And Rajas binds us by giving joy in performing actions and obtaining their results. We are also interested in the results. So in Karma Sanya, Karma Yoga, we are not interested in results, but here also we are interested in results. Tamas binds us by giving joy in holding on to laziness and heedlessness. Tamas is binding us in that way. So we can see how they are interrelated. All are binding through something or other. They are binding us, allowing us not to get liberation. So we can see how the mind can slip from sattva to tamasic. In the second chapter, we have seen in the sloka 62, dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate. By thinking about a thing, we get attached to that thing. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. From the thinking in that attachment, we get the desire, kamaha, kamat krodho vijayate. When the desire is not fulfilled, we get into krodha. That is the anger state. That means we have gone into from sattvic, we are quiet and we are in a sattvic state. Suddenly something rises in our mind. We want to have that. We want to have that thing, or something suddenly comes, and you are getting into kamam, and then come into krodha. Kama krodot vijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. From the, if you don't, your desire is not fulfilled, you get into delusion. Sammohaha. Sammohat smriti vibramaha. This is there in the second chapter. So in delusion, you lose your discriminatory power. Smriti vibramshat buddhi nashaka. You will use your capability of your intelligence, your all your capabilities, you will lose. Buddhi nashat pranashyati. One is destroyed by the buddhi nasha. So this is what happens. So from sukha state, you can slip into tama state in this way. So must be careful then how the mind is traveling from one state to another. So this is what one says in this. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajah karmani bharata jnanamavritya tu tamaha. That is, avritya means to veiling, is blocking knowledge. Tamaha. This will not see as the correct thing, and they will make us attached to heedlessness or carelessness. We'll continue.
Padma Vishwanathan Bhagini.
Sattvam sukhe sanjayati.
Padma Vishwanathan Bhagini. Ilavarasi Bhagini.
Sattvam sukhe sanjayati. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati.
Rajah karmani bharata.
Rajah karmani bharata. Rajah karmani bharata.
Jnanamavritya tu tamaha.
Jnanamavritya tu tamaha. Jnanamavritya tu tamaha.
Pramade sanjayatyuta.
Pramade sanjayatyuta. Pramade sanjayatyuta. Okay.
Kalavati Bhagini.
Sattvam sukhe sanjayati.
Sattvam sukhe sanjayati. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati.
Rajah karmani bharata.
Rajak karmani bharata. Rajak karmani bharata.
Jnanamavritya tu tamaha.
ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः
प्रमादे संजयत्युत
प्रमाते संजयत्युत प्रमाते संजयत्युत
उत्तम
धन्यवाद
Malini Bhagini.
तत्त्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत
सत्त्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत सत्त्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत
ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत
ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत
उत्तम
Padma Jagan Bhagini.
तत्त्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत
सत्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत सत्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत
ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत
ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत
उत्तम
Hema Bhagini.
तत्त्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत
सत्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत
उत्तम
Lakshmi Kiran Bhagini.
सत्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत
Here ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः
ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः
तु तमः प्रमादे संजयति. We'll continue next sloka. रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्वं भवति भारत रजसत्वं तमश्चैव तमसत्वं रजस्तथा. So here रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्वं भवति भारत रजसत्वं तमश्चैव. Satwan, here there is a in will come here. Sattvan tamaschaiva tamasatvam rajastatha. So here Bhagavan says, Sattva asserts itself, O Bharata, by predominating over Rajas and Tamas. Rajas tamas chabhibhuya Sattvam bhavati Bharata. Sattvam will assert itself. Sattva will assert at a time. Sometimes it will assert and over predominating or dominating over the Rajas and Tamas. Similarly, Rajas Sattvam Tamas Chaiva. Similarly, Rajas will dominate over Sattva and Tamas, and at times Tamas will dominate over Sattvam and Rajas. So this is what happens. So we have basic understanding. Now we have seen the last 4 slokas, basic understanding of the 3 gunas, Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and the Tamo guna. All gunas are inherent in the Jivatman. The Prakriti, all gunas are there. Everybody has got these 3 gunas. Do they work parallelly or in sequence? How do they work? Whether they work one by one or whether they work together or at the same time they all 3 will work. This is what we have to see. If one guna is more powerful, if one guna is more powerful, what happens? So at that time, impact of one guna is more. At any particular time, impact of one guna is predominating at any particular time. All three gunas are at war with each other in our mind. In our mind, all the three gunas are there fighting with each other. Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and Tamo guna. And sometimes the Rajo guna will be active, predominating over Sattva and Tamas. Sometimes Tamas will be dominating. Like that, will go on changing. In a day, you will find that you will be going from different state gunas. In a particular day, it will happen like that also. So, calm and serene state, Sattva nourishes him joy and wisdom. Calm and serene state. Preponderance of Rajas to activity. When you are rushing with the mad activities, you are in the Rajaguna, overwhelmed with tamas, neither learns nor works. That leads to lethargy and sleep. That is the Tamoguna. Where you are in that state, you can understand that you are in that state. So you can see when you are active and rushing here and there for some results, you are in the Rajoguna. When you are calm and serene, you can say you are in the Tamoguna. So all the three gunas may predominate by turns in a day. It will take turns in a day over all beings. Over all beings, this will take turns. It will predominate. One can understand, realize in oneself which guna is predominating, which guna is in. You can do that. So we'll continue.
Vatsala Bhagini.
Rajas tamas chabhibhuya.
Rajas tamaschabhibhuya. Rajas tamaschabhibhuya.
Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Sattvam bhavati bharata. Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva.
Rajas sattvam tamachaiva. Rajas sattvam tamachaiva.
Tamaschaiva. Sha is there.
Rajas sattvam tamachaiva. Tamachaiva.
Tamasattvam rajas tatha.
Tamasattvam rajas tatha. Tamasattvam rajas tatha.
Dholak Mahodaya.
Rajas tamaschabhibhuya.
Rajas tamaschabhibhuya. Rajas tamaschabhibhuya.
Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Sattvam bhavati bharata. Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva.
Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva. Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva.
Tamasattvam rajas tatha.
Tamasattvam rajas tatha. Tamasattvam rajas tatha.
Meenakshi Ramurthy Bhagini.
Rajas tamaschabhibhuya. Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Rajas tamaschabhibhuya. Sattvam bhavati bharata. Rajas tamaschabhibhuya. Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva. Tamasattvam rajas tatha.
Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva. Tamasattvam rajas tatha. Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva. Tamasattvam rajas tatha.
Raghunath Mahodaya.
Rajas tamaschabhibhuya. Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Rajas tamaschabhibhuya. Sattvam bhavati bharata. Rajas tamaschabhibhuya. Sattvam bhavati bharata.
Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva. Tamasattvam rajas tatha.
Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva. Tamasattvam rajas tatha. Rajas sattvam tamaschaiva. Tamasattvam rajas tatha.
Lakshmi Kiran Bhagini.
Rajas tamaschabhibhuya. Sattvam सत्वं भवति भारत
रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्वं भवति भारत रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्वं भवति भारत
रजसत्वं तमश्चैव तमः सत्वं रजस्तथा
रजसत्वं तमश्चैव तमसत्वं रजस्तथा रजसत्वं तमश्चैव तमसत्वं रजस्तथा
सपना भगिनी
रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्वं भवति भारत रजसत्वं तमश्चैव तमः सत्वं रजस्तथा
रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्वं भवति भारत रजसत्वं तमश्चैव तमसत्वं तमसत्वं रजस्तथा।
हेमा भगिनी
रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्वं भवति भारत रजसत्वं तमश्चैव तमः सत्वं रजस्तथा
विनोदा भगिनी
रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्वं भवति भारत रजसत्वं तमश्चैव तमः सत्वं रजस्तथा
We will have a time to recite once.
You recite Mahodaya.
तत्र सत्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशकमनामयं सुखसंगेन बध्नाति ज्ञानसंगेन चानघा रजोरागात्मकौ विद्धि तृष्णासंगसमुद्भवं तन्निबध्नाति कौन्तेय कर्मसंगेन देहिनम् तमस्त्वज्ञानजौ विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत सत्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्वं भवति भारत रजसत्वं तमश्चैव तमः सत्वं रजस्तथा समापयामः. I will conclude with the Shanti mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. धन्यवादः. पुनर्मिलामः. राम राम राम.
धन्यवादः
धन्यवादः महोदय।